Hello everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Mythic Plus. Now this week, our first affix is Fortified, which means that non-boss enemies have more HP and do more damage. Teeming, which means that there are more non-boss enemies in each dungeon. And Quaking, which means that players will spawn an AoE around them, causing 20% of HP as damage, and it'll interrupt any spell casting that goes off when this explodes. Also, the damage does add up if you do stack up, so remember to spread out. And Infest, which is the Season 1 affix, which means that some non-boss mobs will be infested with spawns of Gahun. This will make them AoE heal everything around them, and when they go down, they will actually give out 2 spawns of Gahun that will run to the nearest NPC and actually infest them as well. So tanks, this week is all about the trash mobs, so bring short and frequent cooldowns and your AoE and cleave spec as well. You want to be rotating your cooldowns as best as you can when pulling trash, and you also want to maintain as much aggro as you can. Also make sure you do not stack on anyone with Quaking this week, especially if you are melee heavy, and bring any stuns or knockbacks you have for the spawns of Gahun if you are pushing +10. DPS. This week, bring your AoE and cleave spec because there's going to be a lot of extra trash. Also, make sure you use your DPS cooldowns on trash since that is the focus of the week, and use any snares, stuns, or knockbacks on the spawns as soon as they go out and nuke them down. Also, make sure that you do not get interrupted by Quaking and do not stack up for Quaking. There are quite a few dungeons in this expansion that have really close quarters, so just make sure you spread out as best as you can and minimize the impact of Quaking. Healers. This week, bring water. It is very important. There are a lot of small dungeons this week, so Quaking is probably going to clip a few people more than a handful of times. Also, make sure you bring AoE and party heals to combat all of the Quaking damage that does go out, since a minimum of 20% is unavoidable. Make sure you're also not stacking on anyone for Quaking to reduce the damage, and do not get interrupted when that Quake goes out. Your heals are needed immediately after that Quake hits. And also, if you can, bring any snares, stuns, or knockbacks for the spawns of Gahun if you are pushing +10. Overall this week, it is a 5 out of 10. It is an average week, but it is going to take some getting used to. Keep in mind that BFA dungeon design is very small, so everyone's going to be on a learning curve this week, learning how and where to stand so that they don't stack up for Quaking. And melee heavy groups will have added difficulty this week since everything is a little bit smaller. With 3 melees and a tank, it is going to be very difficult in order to avoid all of that Quaking damage. Just focus on taking down all of the trash first this week by using all your DPS cooldowns, and do not let the spawns reach other mobs. You already have Fortified and Teeming this week, so letting those spawns hit additional mobs is going to be even more time added to your key. If you like my content, like what I do, want to help support the channel, check out my Patreon down below. I also stream every Wednesday and Friday here and on Twitch, so give me a follow on your favorite platform. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, good luck out there.